Today marks 1150th day sharing lessons I learned and continue to learn with all of you. My hope that these insights will inspire you, support your dreams, help you achieve your goals, and really empower you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about risk because risk is one of the essential topics. Because if you are not willing to take risks, how are you supposed to achieve something meaningful? If you don't take risks, you will stay the same. And being the same, sometimes is going backwards. So today we'll share like really how successful people look in risk and how unsuccessful people are looking at risk because there's a big difference, big difference. And I think that's a real lifetime examples where we look into okay, how successful person would act, what would they do, what kind of decision successful person would make. I think that is a great exercise that I learned from I don't remember from whom, but this he said that visualize yourself 10 years from now better, stronger, faster, more courageous, more confident, the person that you want to be in 10 years or maybe 20 years, it doesn't matter. What would he do in this moment? What would he do? Would he take a risk? Or would he just walk away? What could potentially help you the most to achieve that version of you faster? Maybe not 10 years, maybe in 1 year. And it's sometimes when you start acting like your future you get there much faster. So the deal is just really share where did risk show up and how we're supposed to take action based on successful person, not as mediocre. So number one, education. Education. So it means it's safe for successful people, really, for unsuccessful people, it's safe to go education that is structured. That's why people go to the college, university. That's great for different careers. But if you really want to be a business or a successful person and do something different, if you want to do something different but you do everything the same, safe, that doesn't work. I mean, successful people who really want something different, they are looking for risk-taking alternatives that potentially could be the most beneficial for them specifically. And what is that? That street smart, maybe going after self-paced online courses or trainings that really specifically helps them what they need for their career, for their business, for their aspirations. That's is potential risky because you need to control yourself, you need to lead yourself because that's a self-paced, not like college that you just follow the structure and you are good to go. Second thing is that is very important is relationships, and there's a lot of things about relationships. Really taking risk and committing. Unsuccessful people say like they are spending a lot of time without commitment because they just do not want to make commitment. And they kind of comfortable with staying in that not nurtured, not fulfilling relationship because it's easier. But when you really take that serious in relationships, I think that the one key part as well is relationships when you need to quit on relationships because people who are unsuccessful they are not able to make that transition because they don't know how that will look like. Successful people, they don't understand that the faster they decision, the faster let themselves go and let other person go. Do I say it easy? No. But do I say that it is necessary to really do that as soon as possible? Yes. And that's again, there's sometimes we look into two things. Both of them are terrible, and we need to choose one that is least terrible. And taking risk and really going into that is very important. Number three is health and fitness. And again, this is very interesting. Sometimes people don't want to take a risk because, and I think that I love this saying that if you want to have what you never had, you need to do what you never did. And this is again part of the risk taking. If you never had a chance to lose weight, maybe you first time you need to really hire a coach, personal coach who could really design what you need to do to achieve your success. And people are afraid to do that. People are afraid to take a risk. People are afraid to take a risk of losing money. But a lot of times I think that we do not understand there's a risk staying the same, risk having an actual weight, the risk of dying sooner. because extra weight based on the stats says that if you have some certain weight, you're decreasing your longevity just by having that extra weight. That's a massive risk. And I think that that's where successful people looking at what are the risk of consequences of my inaction. And that's a much bigger risk. Number four is starting a family. I think that's people said, oh, I don't have everything taken care of yet, and I will wait until I have all the money, I have all the funds, everything in place to really start a family. And I think that potentially people could wait for the rest of their life until it will be ready, because no one was born ready. No one is ready. I think that so many successful people that I was listening to, they said that when they have a family, they perform in a different level. They had the productivity, they had understanding, they have focus on another level. And because of that, they achieved success much, much faster. So that means people who are waiting, not taking the risk to start a family, they still wait and wait and wait on them, are not productive, they're not as focused, and not get results, and they never get that family. But people who really take the risk, take that leap, they know that they will make things happen. Number five is investing. Investing. And that means that I think a lot of people just keep their money safe in a bank and they don't compound. But if you want to really have wealth, there's no wealth without risk. We need to, of course, be very, very cautious, very, very cautious where we put our money, but we need to put somewhere that money. We need to look for ways to improve it. We need to find a way to compound it and start small. Like we don't need to, if you have never invested and put all the money in one thing, no, look, you start small and add it up all the time. It's like every single month, just a little bit, add. And that's, of course, I think that's one of the best ways to really take that risk. Next one is number six is career change. And this is, again, big, big, big change, a big, big difference because unsuccessful people a lot of times see that having a job is safe, stability. But successful people a lot of times look differently. Job is a risk because you base your own career on someone else's decision. And that's a massive risk for a successful person. They are not in control of their life because someone else will dictate how much they earn, if they will work or not. I think it's very, very important to understand that business, in a lot of sense, is less risky because you're in full control rather than job. And again, at the same time, career changes is that when a person wants to change, sometimes people stay in the same job for 5 years because they are afraid of taking risks. There's people who are saying for 5 years that they want to change job and they're not changing because they're afraid of unfamiliar, or afraid to take that risk. And that's what we need to do. Number seven is travel or moving. This is an interesting adventure. Why are we afraid of adventure? Adventure is a beautiful thing. So I moved so many times. I lived in 37, maybe 40 places in last 10 years, maybe even more than 40. And of course, for me, it's very comfortable. I'm familiar with traveling. I'm familiar with moving. I know what it is. And I think that every single person is supposed to do that because it's challenges every single time. You need to understand new things. You rewire your mind. You understand few things. I think that every single person is supposed to move and travel at least a couple of times in their life just to understand, to open the narrow mind, because I used to have a very narrow mind. So I needed it. I needed it. And I think that when we do that, we're able to grow because not traveling, not moving is playing it safe. Number eight is creative pursuits. And this is, again, very interesting thing. Creative pursuits. I think that's why creative pursuit was YouTube, starting my YouTube channel. And it took me 2 years to start because of afraid of embarrassment, of judgment, because I was not that good. My English was very, very poor when I started. And I'm still improving my English. I'm getting better to improve. I'm trying to improve my vocabulary, my pronunciation, and all the things. My accent got smaller, and I'm still improving. But I was afraid to start. And I know that there's a lot of people who are afraid to start because they're afraid of judgment, being embarrassed. And there's a lot of pursuit. Writing, blog, it could be a painting, singing, all those things. artistic pursuits that people do not pursue because they're afraid of risk. I think that this is, again, I think there's bigger risk to really have regret in life after 10 years not pursuing your passion obsession. That is a bigger risk than really being embarrassed, because that truly do not matter. Number 9 is social interactions. Again, this is risk of being lonely or risk to be embarrassed again. Because it's hard sometimes to really go and socialize and speak and then initiate conversation when you are struggling with your confidence, with your courage. But you're able to develop yourself, you're able to improve, when you're able to really go out. And because most people, majority of people want to socialize, they want to connect. And he's standing in front of each other for hours and no one is speaking about anything. And I think that it could be nice that in the future it could be normal for strangers to start initiating conversations very, very easily. That is as a norm. Because now as a norm is that people struggle to initiate conversations and have conversations in a lot of different sense. Now, not in a business environment, and that's, I guess a lot of times when you look into different environments, in a business environment, everyone is speaking. In other environments, it might be that everyone is their corners because they're not used to network and connect. And I think that we need to learn how to take risk in social interactions as well. The last one, number 10, I want to mention is personal development. I guess, and the number one thing is that people just want to play it safe. Not do anything, just do what they already done 100 times and keep doing it. But I think that the successful people, they become successful because of one thing. And that's one thing is that they do something that challenges them over and over and over again. So they think that challenged them in the past, it doesn't challenge them anymore. So they don't keep doing that. They now look into, okay, what's challenging me for me right now? What I'm afraid of? What I could stretch? How I could stretch myself and develop myself? There's people who do that. They grow so much faster. That's why so many people who are 40 don't succeed as much as people who are 20. Because that 20-year-old might be that he was challenging himself from 10, 11, 12. He was doing so many different things that challenge who he is. And of course, that's when, with a young age, he was able to achieve so much more. So being able to take risks, I think that's one of essential topics. Of course, there's other topics like risk management and all those things is very important. But if we want to really achieve our success, risk is one of the things that really is one of the foundations, because without risk, without really going something into unknown, it's impossible to get there. So I hope you just win and see you tomorrow.